Hello, my name is Erica Hobbs, and my environmental controversy topic is that of ecoterrorism. Merriam-Webster's definition of ecoterrorism involves radical activists perpetrating various, often violent acts in the name of preserving the environment or animal rights. These activists often cite that the true ecoterrorism is rather what they're acting out against, such as pollution, human development encroaching on animal habitats, etc. In an article in the Academy of Criminal Justice Sciences official newsletter, Nelson and Burke further define ecoterrorism as any direct or indirect use of force, willful damage, or violence against persons, groups, or property that is used to terminate, prevent, or minimize human alteration to any part of the natural environment or its animal species. Ecoterrorism is an important issue because these acts endanger lives, destroy property, and hinder human utilization of natural resources. The causes of ecoterrorism are fairly straightforward. These include radical activists, mainly those speaking out for the environment or animal rights. These individuals have turned from more peaceful groups toward violent means of protest for one reason or another, whether they perceive that nonviolent protests are ineffective or because the reality of the radical group often becomes the sole reality of its members, and so these actions are essentially viewed as the best or only options. These radicals often target businesses they believe operate in non-eco-friendly manner, or those whom the activists have warned to change their practices to become more conducive to environmental preservation. It also seems that perhaps a lack of communication, or rather a lack of compromise, between businesses and such activists is at play. An obvious effect of ecoterrorism is fear. There's no telling how far these activists may escalate their terrorist acts. Both a variety of businesses as well as their consumers may fear backlash from radical activist groups if any aspect goes against the group's strict ideologies. Severe radical groups have even gone so far as to directly threaten consumers for buying from businesses that they deem to have non-eco-friendly business practices. Another result of ecoterrorism involves price hikes on products from companies targeted by radical groups, as well as destruction of property. Finally, ecoterrorism causes significant strain on law enforcement and our judicial system. So, how do we put a stop to ecoterrorism? Legislation is currently in place to punish ecoterrorists, but the threat of fines and/or prison time is often not enough to deter these radical activists. This means that we must truly band together as a society to end this issue. First and foremost, don't be an ecoterrorist. Stick to nonviolent, legal forms of protest and activism. To further expound on this point, if you see those around you leaning towards environmental or animal rights extremism, actively discourage it. This involves, as the Academy of Criminal Justice Sciences article suggests, not publicizing acts of ecoterrorism in our newspapers and periodicals. This, in a way, legitimizes the radicals' behaviors and groups and essentially fuels their fires. Additionally, we can encourage businesses to wax eco-friendly and advocate for responsible use of natural resources in order to minimize contention with radical groups. In this vein, we can also encourage communication and compromise between businesses and activists. Finally, in order to most efficiently combat ecoterrorism on a state or nationwide scale, networking of law enforcement groups is crucial. Here are my references listed in APA format. Thank you for your time and attention.